Hi guys, welcome back to
Jack and Anne.
Jack and Anne. We're back, we're better, we're Gucci, whatever. Shout out to Ace. Do you know who?
No.
Is that really funny guy? Anyways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're back guys, another video. We said we'll be back, we said we'll be more consistent. Yeah, so today we are going to be talking about our wedding experience. Man.
Do you want to start?
Hey.
It is interesting.
It's interesting, you know, very interesting.
Mm.
I would say for me, the first thing is, listen, if you're from a Nigerian background, let's just leave it at that. If you're Nigerian, I don't know if you're Caribbean, whatever you are, but if you are Nigerian and you're getting married, hey, just know that wedding is not for you. It's your mum's wedding.
Yeah.
It's your dad's wedding. It's your brother's wedding. It's your church wedding. It's not your wedding anymore. It's not about you and your man, or your man and your
Shall I take over?
your woman and it's not about your girl's wedding and yourself, or your man's wedding and yourself. It's everyone else's wedding. Just clarify. You should know that it's not about you anymore. What would you say? Your experience.
I would say that it's probably what you expect, but 10 times more strenuous, and you have an idea in mind of this is how it's going to go, and you hear about the stories,
and it never goes like that.
And you also hear about how other people have planned their weddings, and they tell you it's very stressful, and or not necessarily stressful, but it's like there's a lot of things to consider.
Yeah.
So you look at the blank piece of paper and you put things down, and it's like what you actually set out to do. As you progress, you start to realize there's so many other small factors that come into play.
Honestly.
So it's like you might think you've got the photography, you've got the videography, you've got the buying the suits and the dress and things like that. But then what I found was there's so much more in terms of people management.
So
managing people is I would probably say that's the hardest part of the wedding.
That was one of the hardest part of the wedding, was being able. For me, I had to manage my bridesmaids. Shout out to my bridesmaids. Shout out to Jennifer.
Shout out to the groomsmen.
Shout out. Well. I'm gonna bait your names out. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Sandra. Shout out to Abigail. Shout out to Doris. All you gals. I love you. I love you.
Gals.
Gals.
When did you turn Jamaican? I don't know where it comes from.
I think I tried to. Anyways. But yeah, shout out to all you girls. You really held it down. But obviously at the start, I had to make sure that at times I was very firm and really, got my point across, and managed people as well. And I wouldn't say just the bridal party.
No, but the people behind
people behind the
photography,
scenes.
behind the it's just managing everybody.
I think I developed my leadership skills after the wedding.
Yeah. It was crazy. So that would, for me personally, would be there's a lot more to consider than
just
what you have in mind.
Yeah.
One
thing I would say for anyone who is about to get married or planning their wedding at the moment is don't, first of all, stick to your budget. That was one thing that we struggled with massively. Majority of 90% of the things we went over our budget. Honestly, try as much as possible to keep to your budget.
I think that's because you kind of have an idea in mind. Okay, this is what we're going to spend. But then when things start to come together, there's certain things that you actually want.
Yeah.
And there's also things you need. Even though we did all of it ourselves.
Well, my mum.
Well,
basically family.
We had a
shout out to my mum.
An event
she
organizer.
Is the OG.
Yeah, she
shout out
saved
to her.
that.
That actually links to the next one is don't look at Instagram, because that massively affected me. Like when you look at Wedding Digest Niger, Bella Niger weddings, wedding photos, the coordinate bride. Obviously it's good to get inspiration, but don't look at it in the sense of you're comparing your wedding and comparing like how the weddings on Instagram are.
Can I just give an example?
Your wedding.
The reason being is because I find with social media you only see a snippet of what's happening and what's going on. Like if we show you snippets of our wedding, you're gonna think, wow, this wedding is amazing, everything went smoothly, everything was perfect, there was no hiccups. It's like a fairy tale wedding. But behind the scenes, the graph, the 2 and 3 hours sleep the night before,
literally a night before the wedding. Oh babe, please, this is in my head.
Go on, get it out.
The night before the wedding, the traditional wedding, I had 3 hours sleep. I remember I was in my mum's house. I was helping her because she was making like she was making food and also making some of the traditional clothes.
Sewing them
and I was there. Hey, Jesus! I was there. It was like 4 a.m. when I went to bed, and the wedding starts at early afternoon. And obviously I have to get up early to get my nails done, to get my hair done, to get everything sorted.
Crazy.
Do you know? Oh my
Finishing
God.
off, there's just so much. So what was I saying? You've lost me now. What was I saying?
The thing about social media.
Yeah, so social media can, it can paint a false image. Don't rely on social media to set the standard of your wedding,
of how your
expectations,
wedding,
and there's gonna be.
Stay in your own lane.
Do
what you can do. Do what your bank account can do. Do what your bank. Don't break the bank for the wedding, because you have to understand that after the wedding, it's just you and your husband or you and your wife, and you've got the bills to pay. You've got your lives. Reality kicks in. You could start a family within the next couple of months.
However. Something I learned during the wedding process, because I was kind of like, I don't want to spend this much money, I would say I complained a little bit at times, because I was just thinking, okay, this is, the expense starts to rise and rise and rise and rise.
Close to the wedding.
However, something that your mum taught me, or kind of said during the process was, when you put a high value on something. And this is why I also appreciate and now respect and understand why a lot of African families, Nigerian families, they really put marriage very high up the chain. Not only because of the fact that we live by biblical principles and it's good to get married, two becoming one flesh. But at the same time, even for those African families or Nigerian families, so to say, in this context, even those that, don't necessarily have any deep rooted belief in, say, Christianity, just in general, they put such a high value, or they put marriage way up there, purely because it's like when you're really working for something and you're spending a lot of money, you're putting a big value on something. I feel like it's less likely, it's not I feel like, but what your mom said was like, it's less likely to fall apart, because then you will think back, okay, wait, I put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into this
wedding.
I spent however much money, however much you decide to spend. It's not the value of what you spend, because what £10,000 to somebody might be nothing to somebody else, but it's also the time, the graft, the effort, the stress, the organisation. The more you put into it, you're going to value that marriage more than just saying, okay, let's just go to the registry office, sign some papers, and away you go. You haven't really put any value on the marriage. It's worth, my advice is it's worth fighting for, and that's why you see a lot of the culture in Nigeria. That's why they want to vet the men fully.
Yeah, oh, they did that. They made Jack do press ups and all of that and dance. Oh my god. But I think that's very, very important.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next point is try to find people that could help you in the wedding. For example, say you know a photographer. Like Jack actually made friends with, or was friends with a photographer.
Yeah.
Hashtag Noah Creations. I'm going to put her details in the description box.
Amazing,
she is
by the way.
absolutely amazing.
We will show you some photos.
Oh my god, she's absolutely
brilliant.
amazing. She was Jack's friend and she really held it down for both days. Like she saw me cry like a baby. She even helped us.
But this is going to the point of what I was just making. Is she was actually there for the photography, but she helped with setting up the venue. She helped with emotional support.
Yeah.
She helped with encouragement, you know, and just being there from start to finish. And
we're not saying obviously get someone who's going to help you do everything. Get people who you have a relationship with, like Jack was friends with. People like that could really make the difference. However, if you get someone who is your friend, they might not take your wedding serious. So it just depends. But it's good to get people to help you in your wedding that you know first. Look to the people you know first before going out.
Yeah. And I think things will work out. You just have to take the first step and put one foot in front of the other, and things will work out. Like
just know that by that day, whatever day you set for your wedding, it's gonna happen. You're gonna walk down the aisle. You're gonna look beautiful, and it's all gonna go all to plan. The truth is,
you know, when you choose and decide to get married, God honors that.
Yeah.
You know,
so He will make a way for that.
He will make a way for you. And too many of the politics expect people to let you down, expect disappointments. Now, I'm not trying to, you know, prepare you for a disaster of a wedding or something like that. That's not what I'm saying. But prepare for the disappointments. Prepare that people that you thought wouldn't let you down will, and the people you least expect to help you out will be there for you. So it's just part of the process, and because things seem to intensify as you get closer to the wedding, you start to, you know, it's almost like a sifting process. You know, people kind of, you know, fall through the net. People that you think you can rely on, you can't, and so on and so forth. So
the main thing is, no matter how much you plan, something will most likely go wrong.
But don't let that.
Don't let it
spoil the day, and don't let that get between the two of you.
Yes, don't ever let it get between you and your partner. But it is, that's life. That's part of growing up. I think that's pretty much it. We're definitely gonna delve in deeper as to like how married life has been treating us and what we've done so far. I hope you like this video. Do not forget to like, comment and subscribe and share. Do not forget to share. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to share. And hopefully we will see you next week back here. And also click the notification bell.
Yes, don't forget.
Don't forget to click the
so we can annoy you every time
every single
we
time
release
we
a
upload,
video.
we can just keep annoying you
You
for the
get
rest
a
of your
reminder.
lives. And
see our wonderful faces.
our beautiful faces.
Take it easy.
No. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful